Welcome to Cartoon Academy Class 5. My name is Cartoon Ray, and I'm super excited that you're here. What am I going to draw to start out? Let's just, I have a couple announcements first. Okay, the first thing is there's a challenge going on right now that you can participate in. It's like a little bit of an extra credit homework assignment, but if you want to take a little bit of time and draw your version of Jaws, the killer great white shark, I am going to take all the drawings that people do of Jaws in the next, say, 5 days or so, and I'm going to make a big Jaws collage. It's going to be silly. It's just going to be like a bunch of sharks sticking their heads up, but that's what I'm doing. It's a drawing challenge. It's a quick one. If you want to have something fun to do, you can draw yourself a little Jaws and submit it to a link on my website, which is cartoonray.com. And there's a little link at the top of that page where you can upload a drawing of Jaws, and I will put it in a collage, and you will have been part of a weird, fun, collaborative art project. That's announcement number one. Announcement number two is that the first 4 classes of Cartoon Academy are all live on YouTube. I cut out all the early drawing stuff and just get to the meat of the class. So each class is about 29 minutes long, and they are all up on a playlist on my website and on YouTube. So go check that out. Let's see. What else should I draw? I'll draw Gir while I keep talking. G-I-R. Nope, not T-G-I-R, just G-I-R. Okay. So, Jaws challenge. What else do you need to know? This is Cartoon Academy, and we are in Class 5, and it's a totally optional, totally free activity that I'm doing. It's going to go for like 10 more weeks. I'm going to just keep going and going and going. And it's fun, it's free, it's no big deal, but if you want to make it a big deal or a bigger deal, I am offering a certificate to celebrate those people who participate in the class. And if you want to be considered for the certificate, you can do homework for this class. And I'm going to tell you what all the homework has been so far, because there's no such thing as late homework in this class, I think. If anyone chooses to do the homework at any point during the tenure of the course, I am happy to issue them a certificate. So right now, this will be Class 5. So after this class, there will have been 5 homework assignments. The first 4 assignments were to do a single page of a cartoon character of your choice. I gave several options. And you can see what those options were by going to the Cartoon Academy link on my website and going to resources and looking at the Class 1 drawing sheet, contact sheet. And Class 2 was to draw Sonic the Hedgehog and draw an infinity sign in a specific way that I asked for, and to draw interlinking chains and a ring of eyes. So let's say, for the sake of understanding, homework 1 was to draw a page full of the same character. A lot of people chose to do Kirby, and I thought it was great. Class 2 was a Sonic the Hedgehog plus the infinity symbol done in a 3D fashion like so. 2 interlinking rings done in this style. And a ring of infinitely receding circles like so. That was homework 2. Homework 3 was a self-portrait. Here's me in cartoon style, mostly as a check-in, so that later when I give you the assignment of a self-portrait again, you can check in on how it was. And 4 was 5 different hands. So We did handwork last class, and I want you to put it into practice. Times 5 different hands. That's the homework that we've got so far. I will make a document on my website that makes that more clear, but you can always catch up on the homework, and if you do 75% of it or more over the course of this class, you will get a really cool handmade, well, yeah, more or less handmade, thing with your name on it that says, "You're great and I love you," and "Wow, look at what you did." Okay, the other big thing that I want to announce to you is that on my website now, I'm just sending you my website over and over and over again, but if you just go to cartoonray.com, this morning I made a calendar of events. This calendar is basically, I just went out for the next week in terms of events, but I basically have scheduled, it looks like Tuesday and Thursday is Cartoon Academy and on TikTok, and Saturday is Cartoon Request Time on Saturday morning on TikTok, and then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'm doing special drawings on YouTube. So if you want to be a part of other things that are not explicitly class but that are more drawing opportunities, go to my website and you will see all the things that are coming up in the next week. And I'm just going to keep updating it because I want to make sure everyone knows where I am, because I'm not always on TikTok. So check that out. Exactly. Certificate. I have no authority other than the authority of a guy who draws cartoons on the internet. There's no, I mean, it's a free class. What do you want? It's not a high school diploma. But yeah, okay. So that is pretty much it. The classes are live on YouTube. The calendar is live on my website. The homework is this: draw a character, draw Sonic and these rings, draw a self-portrait, and draw a, what did I spell wrong? Certificate. Oh, deal with it. And then there's the Jaws challenge, which I think will be really funny. Even if you draw an intentionally bad Jaws, I will include it. And I think it could be a pretty fun little experiment. I don't know. Anyway, extra credit for Jaws. So let's get into it. One thing that I've been thinking about in terms of hands is that when I'm on here, I'm always drawing in pen. And that's not necessarily fair to you, because I draw in pen so that it's visible, but that's not how I learned, you know? How I learned was drawing in pencil. And it's much better to start out in pencil. So let's see if we can make this something where I can draw in pencil and you can still see. How's that? I think that's okay. It doesn't look as fantastic as a pen drawing, but I think it's good for me to show you that when I'm learning to draw, when I'm practicing, it's really important to be able to draw and then erase. And he said, frantically looking to the side of his desk to see if he had an eraser. I don't actually have an eraser handy. It doesn't really matter. Because the way I learned to draw was to do a bunch of pencil work, and then once I have my pencil work, go over the line that works for me in pen. This is how I've drawn most of my life. Draw in pencil first, go over in pen, and then erase it. I know it's obvious to some of you, but it's not obvious to everyone, so thank you for your patience or forgiveness or whatever. This is fundamentally what I'm doing when I draw. For Sonic, I'm showing you these ways that I draw now, but really when I started out drawing Sonic, it was draw the circle, find the sort of hot dog shape inside of it, make that nose, fit the eye inside of it, because starting with a basic shape and then building out from it is actually the way that you're going to learn. I'm trying to do this in a way that goes quickly and also looks impressive on this channel. But if we're being real, the best way to do this is to do in pencil. And then once you have your pencil line, I can do that eye, and if I don't like where it is, I can do that eye. So that when I come through, I can make little decisions. I didn't put a line there, but I can do this line now. And this is, I'm showing you this, I'm talking about this, because this is actually good habits. This channel has been all built around me drawing things without sketching first, and that's not actually how you want to draw. If you're trying to draw live, which is basically what I'm doing here, then sure. But if you're trying to learn how to draw, then there's no reason you need to get it right on the first try. The best thing you can do is give yourself the framework that is provided by a sketch, and then go through and erase your pencil work later. That's the actual right way to do it, and I just felt like I was doing you a little bit of a disservice. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to kick the camera. I just felt like I'm doing you a little bit of a disservice by only showing you my finished pen drawings. I've been drawing for, 33 years, and I've only recently started drawing pen first. That's not true. I actually draw pen first a lot, but, I often regret it. Okay, so talking about hands and talking about sketching. Give me a circle. Give me a circle, any old circle, all right? I'm going to go a little bit bigger for the sake of visibility on the camera. See, I can be any kind of circle, and I want to land on one. It's a lot smoother to do this with a pencil than with the pen that I'm usually using too. You get your circle, right? And then come off the side like that, and come off the other side, giving this one a little bit of a curve out like that. Give you a little more to see there. Okay, now hope everyone's able to follow along. Now we're going to just draw a curve in like this. A curve echoing that first curve like that, and a third curve echoing like this. Okay, this is my hang loose hand, reminding us all to take it easy, don't be too serious, and disengage that critical part of your mind. I know some of us, self-included, have a very active inner critic, but I go back to that 100 times. The best thing you can do for yourself in this class, and in life in general, honestly, is to do the thing first and then come back to the critical faculty that you have. You don't need to criticize while you work, and you really can't. If you're criticizing yourself while you work, you're going to stop working. So you want to just draw, and then you want to stop drawing and look at it and say, okay, what could I do better next time? When we're drawing hands, it's totally great, and I can do this now because I'm not drawing with a pencil. It's totally great to start with a circle. That is honestly the best thing you can do. Because once you have that circle, let's follow that curve up like this and come down like that. Okay, and then off of that, the top of that will come and go like this. Another one again. And one more coming down. The nice thing about these drawing with a pencil or going from a circle is if it doesn't line up perfect with that circle, it doesn't really matter. We'll figure it out. We're not committed because we're drawing with a pencil. Coming up here, curving around, coming off of that circle, using the continuous curve of that circle to come off to the side and create the thumb. And then once you're back inside of the circle, sort of creating that little curve for the thumb. One big trick for drawing hands is that if you're looking at a hand, head on, you see the space between the fingers, right? You see the line each side. As soon as you start turning it at all, you still see the whole of the finger closest to you. Everything else is kind of behind. So that's a really important tool to, we're not often drawing hands that are exactly head on. Sure, we are sometimes, but for the most part, there's usually a little bit of an angle involved. And that's why it's important to remember that you can use that trick that we learned in class 2, talking about things going behind other things. So when I'm talking about this, I'll do ink to finish. I've got this guy, and the fact that I'm doing this and going there when I'm implying that there's more to this finger behind it. I know it seems obvious, but I have to verbalize it because it's important to know. But implying that the rest of that finger is out of sight is actually the sort of the distance we need in order to create a hand that is, right, I'm saying that that whole finger is back there, but I'm not showing you the whole finger. And that's a big hang up. That's why sometimes we have a hard time fitting all 4 fingers onto a hand. You try and draw the whole finger and you get stuck. So get in the habit of drawing one finger and then having each finger come off of it. Okay, next up, I want to talk about this basic shape. You saw it before, but I'm just going to come back to it again. It's not new, but we're going to review it. This shape. Just give me one of those. You could think about it as almost, if you continued it going, you could get a spiral galaxy situation, but we're just doing once back in like this, okay? Popping over to a new page. When you're doing that, go like this. Okay, and then I want another one coming the other way that almost mirrors it. Pardon me, there we go. All right, and then we're going to go echo that same shape. Echo it again. And echo it again. Then you can kind of connect across. All right, so that's a hand that's not quite gripped all the way. Funnily enough, you can do it in the opposite direction, so you could just do a whole shape that goes like this. I'll do it twice here. So you could either do a hand like that or a hand like that. For cartoon drawing, it may not make a huge difference whether you're drawing the pinky or the thumb, and that'll help you a lot. Fundamentally, with a cartoon character, there's a lot of different ways you can draw a hand. I really like to start with a finger, with a circle. And then try drawing the fingers coming off the circle so that the fingers get wider at the end. It's another great trick for getting them all to fit, is to splay them and to have them wider at the end than they are at the base, where they connect to the palm. Okay, and then off to one side, I just want one smaller circle that crests just outside of the first circle, and give one more wide on the outside. This is where we start to get into stylized hands. And you can see this is kind of where, right, we start with the circle. We don't need to be overcommitted to the circle. It's just how we find our placement on things. Add that curve to get the webbing between the fingers like so. Could make that a little bit bigger. You can add the curve out to give your thumb that crook that some people, self-included, have. And build it out, you know, shape it to what works, what fits. You know, the easiest, it's actually funny, you know, the Mickey Mouse thing where he has a sort of a glove, what do we call it, collar around his wrist, is actually really good training for getting you to draw the wrist bones. Because ultimately you could be drawing a hand that just goes. I really do love drawing with pencil first because it gives you something. When you're doing pen work, you ultimately can just trace and run, you know, just sort of almost bulldoze over the places where you made mistakes, and this is your last opportunity to kind of choose your lines and make specific decisions. Right, so that hand winds up being so this is a straight-on hand, but if we had any angle to it at all, we would wind up putting fingers in front of other fingers. And I want you to think about this in terms of, let's go, whole new sheet. Start with that spiral galaxy shape. Then you come over here and go spiral galaxy on the other side. 1, 2, and then a finger coming out like that. Now we have a pointing finger. We'll do another one, spiral galaxy over here. And this time we'll come out like this, back in. And now we can do the same down, and now we have hardcore hand. And now we'll go a little bit more tricky, but instead of the spiral galaxy, this time we'll go do that whole thumb out to the pinky and back. So now we go bent finger, bent finger. Now we've got the Spider-Man thwip. Wouldn't have been so bad to do this in pencil. It's okay. Imperfection is part of the game plan, and so on and so forth. Figuring out how to have a Lulu, the struggle is real. I encourage you to stick with it. It is a challenge that if you keep going, this is, to me, I think this is maybe the hardest thing to really draw when you're learning. And once you can start to get hands, even in this simple form, even in the simple cartoon style, yeah. Well, if you're struggling to draw, I come back to patience with yourself. We work so hard, and if you're not forgiving of yourself, it's just harder. It's okay to not be good at the start. I also want to show you, try this with me. That same spiral shape. And then this time, we're just going to come up like that. Now I want to draw the other spiral coming in, starting from the other direction, because this time we're going to stop there. Now I can draw the rest of the hand. This is just going to be a 3-finger hand. Sometimes that's okay. And now we're going to go back to our fundamentals of drawing a circle. I don't know if you can hear him tap dancing around, but Blue has entered the chat. Blue is my dog, and he's now sitting at my feet. All right, to me, this is, it's not perfect, but this to me is the ultimate combination of what we've worked on so far. We are short on time, so I want to give you homework right now, if you choose to accept it. Homework is this. You have to draw in pencil for this, okay? 2 circles. Screenshot this one as I get through it if you want to. I'll also put it on the website. All right, start with 2 circles. Do a circle around each circle. It's funny, I draw differently when I draw with pencil. I'm much more tentative, more sketchy, I suppose. All right, a circle around that circle, and then a circle around this circle. Okay, so now we should have 2 circles overlapping. Now on this side, I want you to do that same old galaxy shape, right? That spiral, and then draw 1, 2, 3 fingers coming around and dropping down like that. And on the other circle, on the other ring, we'll do that same galaxy shape. And again, 1, 2, 3 fingers coming down like this and out. All right, if you can do that with a pencil, then when we finish it in pen, we're going to wind up with something that looks like this. All right, this is a little bit tricky, but we're going to choose to continue this ring up to right there, and that way we're going to turn around here. We drew both rings in completion in pencil, but when we do the pen work, we're just going to draw over the lines that we don't want. This might take a couple of tries. Again, I'm not grading the homework other than for its having been attempted. So if you even try this, you get full credit for your quote-unquote certificate. All right, but this is what I'm looking for. 2 rings interlocked with a hand on each side holding them. You can imagine this is Sonic and Knuckles, or any other 2 characters with gloved hands. But I want to see that, and then I want to see erase it. This is homework number 5, and I encourage you to try it. That is what I have for you for hands today. I will also show you, this is not homework, but when you start to work on this, when you start to get a little bit better at this, you can start to do cool stuff. My favorite thing is a very cool trick you can do with a little bit of practice. Do the shaking hands. And when you're thinking about this stuff, you know, if I'm drawing the hand head on, but I'm looking at the top of the hand, I might draw it like this, where the lines between each finger are fully visible and no finger is in front of any other finger, right? That's sort of a longer, more human hand. You can sort of imagine that the circle, the theoretical circle inside of that hand is there. But as you turn it to its side, if the full side view was thumb goes like that and fingers come down like that, one more finger there, you can start to play with like a 3/4 view where you do thumb, finger, 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 up to arm. Okay, thank you all for being here. You can't see. Oh, I was off camera. I apologize. Yeah. Apologies. This is what I was saying. Basically, this same hand, if we were looking at it from the front, you'd see thumb coming over. Give that a little bit longer. Right, you'd see each finger in totality. And if you were looking at that from the other side, you might see this. Right, where we're sort of not seeing the rest of the thumb going back there. And then I want you to play around with the idea of, can basically use that same thumb shape, but then coming back. Just the idea that you don't have to draw the whole of every finger. Still do a little knuckle there. Or even, you know, once you get a little bit more advanced, you start wanting to put a little bit more distance between each finger. And even then, you're still not going to draw the whole finger. It's always going to be behind some.